Guys, you know we always kick off morning coffee with Brittany Taylor. This time, we've got something special. It's a Barbell Brittany exclusive. This is original music. You guys need to head over to her Instagram. She's at Barbell Brittany and tell her how goddamn good she is at writing and playing music. I absolutely love her original stuff, even more than her covers, and I want to encourage her to keep doing it. So you guys should do the same if you like it.
Do you know what it's like to go to bed, wondering where you're gonna rest your head? Is it on her shoulder, wrapped up in your bed? Do you know what it's like to be me? I feel like I'm taken, but I'm technically free. But you want it so bad, so you just keep on telling lies. Do you not see my pain when you look into my eyes?
All right, everybody, welcome back to morning tea. I mean coffee. I'm sick, and so it's been tea lately. Hopefully I don't have to make this a thing. But turns out having a sore throat when you want a career in radio, not the best move. I gotta take better care of myself. So today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what your goals are, what your ultimate goals are, the thing that you want to do, whether it's in athletic performance or starting a business or writing a book or literally whatever it is that you want to be in the world or whatever your goals are. I know you have goals. You don't listen to the show if you're the kind of person that doesn't have goals. And I want to talk about what it is that you're giving up in order to get that thing. Because here's the deal. Greatness in life, prosperity in life, it demands sacrifice. And there's no way around it. You know, it's interesting. If we look back at, back to the very beginnings of recorded history, so we're talking 6,000, 7,000 years, we tend to look at people of that time and we think that they were so much less intelligent than us and that they don't have something to offer. They're sacrificing things to the gods that don't exist, so clearly they don't know what the hell they're doing. But what's interesting is sacrifice as an archetypal idea is actually spot on. And the way they did it was pretty ingenious. They used to burn the meat that they would sacrifice with the idea that the smoke would emanate up and that the gods would be able to tell the quality of the sacrifice based on the aroma of the smoke. Of course, the idea then being the more quality of meat that you were willing to sacrifice, the more pleased the gods would be. And that's why they would say the gods were not pleased with your sacrifice. And so whatever it is that you wanted, whether you wanted rain for your crops or whatever, you would have to be willing to part with the greatest thing that you had in order to get that result. Now, what's wild is that is exactly how life is today. Now, we're not throwing goats into the fire, but we are trying to do something that requires a sacrifice. And what you're doing when you sacrifice something is you're saying, I will forego this thing in the present in hopes that I will get something greater at a later date. That is the essence of sacrifice, and that's what your goals require of you. And typically, the greater the thing that you're willing to sacrifice, the more likely it is that you're willing to get your goals. Gary Vaynerchuk, one of the things he always talks about, Gary V, if you guys don't know him, obviously go look him up. I'm sure you all know him. But what's interesting is he talks about this idea that he worked his ass off through college. And so, throughout his entire college career, when everybody was going out and partying and drinking on Friday nights, he was either recording YouTube videos or learning the wine business or running his wine store. And then when he blew up, after hustling like that for years and years and years, he said he would get emails all the time. They'd be like, oh, you're so lucky I saw you on Ellen or whatever. And he would be like, bitch, lucky? On Friday night when you were drunk, I was sacrificing. I was working at the wine store. There's nothing lucky about it. And so what's interesting is a lot of people talk about college as their greatest years. He literally was sacrificing that, his greatest years, in order to get where he wanted to go. The greater the sacrifice, the more likely your future is actually going to be what you want it to be. But a lot of times people will be working and they'll be like, why am I not getting said result? And so my first question is always, well, what are you giving up? Why do you mean why am I not getting this result? Or do you mean why am I not getting this result without giving everything up? In my book, I talk about this idea that a lot of times we spend we'll spend our entire weekend drinking and then we'll wonder why we don't have more like adventure in our life or why we're so bored. Or we will choose the instant orgasm and porn over hard conversations and meeting people, and then we wonder why it's so hard for us to find love. Things that you want in life require sacrifice. They require that you give something up. And so if this is you, if you're kind of banging your head against the wall and it doesn't seem like you're getting the results, or you're like, well, I've tried to do X, Y, or Z diet and I've never gotten what I wanted, the question then would be, well, what are you giving up? Or what aren't you giving up? Is it the thing that you're holding on to the tightest? Because that is typically how sacrifice works. Whatever it is that you're holding on to the tightest is what you have to give up. And that thing will give you the greatest chance of success. I spend a lot of time thinking about my sort of ideal self, the person that I want looking in the mirror back at me. And what I've come to realize is whatever that ideal self is, it's going to require that I give up things that I love. It's going to require that I give up pizza because I've got to nourish myself better so that I show up in the world in a better way with more energy, more vitality, right? It requires that I nourish my brain more. And so that means way less Netflix and way more reading and way more research and way more writing. You have an idea about who you want to be in the world and things that you want to do. But a lot of times we want those things without having to change our lifestyle. And unfortunately, this human experience is not set up for us to be able to do that. And so if you want more in life, if you want to hit your goals, if you want to do the thing that you feel like you're meant to do, then you got to let something go. And that sucks, but it is just the reality. Success will always be safeguarded by sacrifice. And those that are not willing to sacrifice, they will never, ever, ever get to where they want to be in the world. And look, I don't make the rules. I'm just observing them. So hopefully this helps, and hopefully you can think about your own goals, your own life. What is the thing, if you're not moving toward your goals in your life as well as you want to be, then maybe it's time to start thinking about what you're not giving up. What are you not willing to sacrifice? Is it Netflix? Is it time on the couch? Is it time with loved ones? Because that could be the case too, right? Sometimes we look at the sacrifice, we look at the thing that we want to do in the world, and then we look at the sacrifice that it takes. And the answer is no, I'm not willing to sacrifice. Like if I want to do something so great that it's going to require so much single-minded focus of me, then maybe the answer is no, I'm not willing to sacrifice family time. I'm not willing to. That's okay too. But we have to be realistic about what our goals are going to require of us. Because as long as we do that, then we never set ourselves up for failure. Then we know at least we're going into every single situation with our eyes open. And so hopefully this serves as a point of inflection for you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow on Morning Coffee.